Well, once again, hello good people of YouTube. This is the Tenkaichi of gaming. And, there have been a couple issues I've been noticing online in the media circle, as it were, about what's been going on, with video games. And I mean, I'll back it up. Not just video games, but the well-being of and safety of children. And since the wake of the that tragic shooting in Newtown, Connecticut, I can understand that there are parents who want to protect their kids now more than ever, and if they take to extremes by doing it, well, so be it. It's their kids. Then, not too long ago, about a day ago, there's another little town in Connecticut, which I know I will not be visiting anytime too soon, that is actually destroying violent video games. Okay, let's think about that. You're destroying violent video games. I know what you're thinking. Why am I talking about this now? Well, let's just think about it, folks. Video games have been around since the 80s. Granted, there have been games that have been violent, that have been gory, and somehow does a representation of what actually happens here in the realm of reality. You have certain games like Grand Theft Auto, Saints Row, Mortal Kombat, Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, and so many more that I can't even fathom to say that, they show random acts of violence within the game. But, and I do mean but, parents tend to forget that there is a rating on every box that you see, on every video game that you come across, that your kid comes across. Let me give you a solid example. If you don't see it on the box, if you don't see it on the back of the box, you damn well sure will see it in the front of the box. Let's take Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, for example. Don't troll me, Capcom. I know how you is. Let's take this, for example. This game is rated T for teen, and it's by the ESRB. And of course it says on the back here, it's rated T for teen, for mild language, mild suggestive themes, and violence. Now, mind you, yes, it is a fighting game. It shows some sort of violence. But does it go far as to blatantly show off random acts of people getting shot? No. I'll take another example. I guess another example would be this. Dynasty Warriors 6 for the Xbox. This is rated T for teen for violence. And as you can see on the back, yes, people are getting slaughtered, but they're not getting like slaughtered in which you would see loads and tons of blood. Just because, oh, it's a violent game. Now, there's something that most people just do not do. And it's because most of them being overwhelmed by emotion, and the thing is choice. Did I mention I only have like at least a couple of M-rated games? I do have a couple of M-rated games. They do have blood, but they do not change the way I am. You don't see me go out on a rampage, killing up half of California just because one game showed some random act of violence. I find it really, really stupid that you're going to destroy what mainly got the game industry into where they are now. You're actually going to destroy a game which took millions and millions of dollars to make. If not millions, a few couple thousand, not hundreds, a few couple of thousand dollars to make. And what I mean by choice is that as parents, I cannot stress this enough, but I think I will have to. All parents should be aware of what their kid picks up. Even as I live and breathe, whenever I go to something like a game store, doesn't matter if I go to GameStop or some mom and pop store, whether it's a not so known place or it's a known place, parents of this generation should have a lot more control than the parents of the past generation. It's like this. You're going to pay $25 just to get a disc burnt the fuck up. Really? You're going to do that just to make an example of these violent video games should be burned. First off, that's stupid. You're gonna pay $25, in which you're gonna pay $25 to get a game that your kid has played to death burned. I mean, if it's something like Resident Evil, Halo, the popular games, and they have violence, then you must be as dumb as you think he is. Because there aren't just games that have violence. No. There are other games out there that are still being distributed and in the market, and yet they don't crack down on those type of games. It's only the popular games that most fanboys and girls go for because, oh, it's a part of a series. I like this series, even though I'm not knee deep into it. To me, I find that stupid. Because since most games do have violence, it's stupid. I mean, in certain parts of the world, certain video games are banned from being distributed because of violence. I know what you're thinking. Violent video games on? No. No. I've seen plenty of videos get circulated around, especially when I'm on Skype. We usually just watch a few videos when we're together, and let's just say that with certain games, they have certain partial scenes. It's like this. You got Dragon Age, and it has very few, a bit of sexual content in it, but it's not like, graphic. You only get a smidgen of it, and that's it. Tokyo Jungle. That too has sexual content in it, but it's with animals. But you get the point. Mass Effect. Just like Dragon Age, only in the far, far future. That too, I feel, has sexual content. And let's not forget, the oldest, muddiest game ever known is still in circulation. Leisure Suit Larry. It has tons and tons of sexual content, but nobody has cracked down on that game. Certain people like that. I'm not sure why, but they like it. My point here that I'm trying to make is, it's petty. You're going to pay $25. You're going to pay $25 to some random person that wants you to bring in this game because you feel you're saving your child's life. Now, I have to say, in this case, what you guys need to really do, especially in this day and age, is just do one simple thing. Talk. Talk to your kids about reality and fantasy and the line in between that. If they don't understand. And what I also suggest to any parent out there listening is you start them off young. Get them around the age of 5 or 6, and you talk to them. And don't be afraid to talk to them about the line of between reality and fantasy. They need to know this, because you wonder how many juvenile killers are being made because nobody told them about the line between what's real and what's not real. I mean, it's a sad thing, but you can't blame video games for the state that this generation of gamers are in, because now gamers do play the popular games like Halo and Resident Evil or hell, even Bayonetta. Not everybody plays that sort. Not everybody goes for the violent type of games. I mean, I myself have a couple of games that are violent, but they're not like brutally violent. I mean, I've only had like maybe 1 or 2 games that are like that. I don't play them now, but you know, I used to play them. But they don't change me in the slightest. I used to have a few, like No More Heroes and No More Heroes 2, Desperate Struggle. And I still do have Mad World and Red Steel, but once again, it doesn't turn me into a violent person. I play these type of games if only I had a bad day. If I had a really, really rough day, I'd go for that. I'd get some vengeance out and just get it out. I get it out. Use whatever deemed necessary just to get it out and just let it go. I mean, you know, it's stupid. But yeah, I need to protect myself. You don't need to, you know, you can protect your child, but, you know, as far as what you need to do as a parent, talk to your children. That's what you need to do. As a parent, talk to your children and don't be ignorant. Because I swear what's going on over in that little part of Connecticut, it's ignorance. I mean, for God's sake, you still got Westboro Baptist Church. And they're the most ignorant sons of bitches out there. Because they basically run the reputation of being a Christian down into the mud. And you know, it's like, ha ha, we're Christian, ha ha ha. And like, no. That's it. To Westboro Baptist Church, you're a bunch of fucking racist bastards. And most of y'all need to get your nuts chopped the fuck off. Just for saying all sorts of slurs that you know you shouldn't even say. Racial slurs, and whatnot, kind of slurs. Hell, I'm not surprised if they would go so far as to say something about disabled people, like myself, and a few others I choose not to name. But still, in this case, you know, that's the threat we face right now. I mean, that's the sort of threat we're facing right now. We're facing a radical movement in the guise of a terrorist organization. Those are people you need to watch out for. Those are people you need to really slam down on. Not people, not on companies who basically do this sort of thing for a living because they have families themselves that, you know, they need to take care of. And what they do is for the benefit of those who want video games. And you know, if I was in that position, if I was in the position of being like a clerk at GameStop, and I run into a very irate parent, I would simply just go about this and say, okay, ma'am, sir, I'd like to point your attention to this little box right here that says T. Now we have a rating board about these kind of games. First off, how old is your kid? Your kid is 5 years old? Okay. You shouldn't get them a game that is T for teen. Do you see what it says on the back here? It says violence. Why do you want your kid? Why do you want to get a game that that has violence on it, and your kid's about 5, 6 years old? No, no, no. Get him something like, you know, E for everyone. Get him a family game. Get a family game so you guys can play together. Because you're going. I feel if you get this, you're gonna fuck yourself over in the ass, and that's not gonna be nice. Or if you're a dumbass, you probably will be asking for it. But hey, I'm only a clerk here, and I'm only going by what I see, by personal preference and what is said on the ESRB. What's rated by the ESRB. Otherwise, please, if you're screaming bloody murder, bloody murder, bloody murder in here, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. Simple as that. And I cannot stress this enough, but parents need to have a backbone. They need to be more grounded. Kids crying for a certain game which they see their friends play. They say, "Oh, this game is awesome. This game is this. This game is that." I'm like, okay, if it's another Call of Duty, if it's another one of those first-person shooters, they ran that shit right down to the ground, and everybody knows it. I mean, it's nothing new. You know, if it's AVP or Call of Duty, you know, it's just stupid. You just ran this game right down to the ground. Nobody really cares anymore. But yeah, I say this. If there's a game you just don't like, don't burn it. Take it to somewhere like GameStop. I know people are saying, well, you know, you don't get that much from GameStop. Consider this. You could get something better than the shit you had in the first place. And trust me, there are a lot to choose from. I mean, I think I mentioned this before, but parents have a pocketbook. The kids don't have a pocketbook. They don't even know the meaning of the word work. Especially in this day and age, they don't know the meaning of the word work. Especially if they're 6 or 7 years old or something like that. And it's like, "Mommy, Daddy, I want this game. I want this game." Like, yeah, catch me in there, I'm just going to look at them like, And I'm just going to look at the situation. Just look at them, and just look at the kid, and just, you know, glance at it for a moment. And, you know, mind my own business. I mean, yes, I understand. Last year was a tragedy. It would probably wake up call to most of anyone who's living in the U.S. I also have to say, in light of this, teachers do need to protect their students. But beyond that is, at what cost at what cost and how far you should go to protect your students? As a former teacher, I have to really raise that question. That question is your life really worth being put into danger like that? I mean, do you really want to bring an assault rifle into your classroom, or let alone a handgun or a pistol? I'll say this: an assault rifle to a Walter P. 38. or even worse, a danger. You're going to bring that into your own classroom. And should a wacko like what happened last year show up, then you know, if you have to do what you have to do, fine. I'm not knocking it. But the one thing we should be doing is trying to stop that from ever happening. That's what is important. And that's what should be important. That is why it goes back to getting your kid that time when they are young, that talk, and make sure that they understand that there's a line between reality and fantasy that they need to understand. They shouldn't be like, to the parents, you guys shouldn't be cringing. Just come up and grow up and tell them, you know, what's on your mind. Just, you know, tell them what they need to know beforehand, so that way when that pathway comes up, they know the right thing to do. So remember the words that you gave them, because it is just as important for them to know what to do when that time comes. Are you going to be a menace to society, or are you going to be a shining beacon to society? Well, only one person, but yeah, I really had to share that. So anyway, I have been the Tenkaichi of gaming. Ichigo Musco. And for those who have approved the message, I'd like to hear what you think. Like it, comment, subscribe, you know the whole ordeal. So in any case, I'll see you soon with more videos. So until then, take care, God bless, and of course, Tenkai Musou.